job of criminal investigator. Discover whether or not an offense. Dili nga part is i-discover nila if kana nga crime na ay offender nga nabuhat. Kanang offender na yung nabuhat niya. Nabuhat ng krimen or wala. Then is second is after determine nila ang offense is rin na nila nabalaan kung kana siya nga person is ay nabuhat ng offense or criminal siya. Then second is methods of the identification made by eyewitness. Number is verbal description. Verbal description, mao na siya mga istorya sa mga witnesses or mga offenders. Second is photographic files. Mao na siya ang Rugus Gallery or mga photographs. Number 3 is general photograph. Then number 4 is artist assistance or composite sketches. Mao ni ay sketches nga nabuhat para ma-determine ang criminals. And police line up ano siya. Ang line up na ang mga evidence, then mga sketches para ma-determine ang criminals. Then phase of criminal investigation. Criminal investigation, mag-conduct ang police of criminal investigation para ma-identify ang criminal if napod siya evidence nga makalap. Then follow-up investigation. Ang follow-up investigation diri i-trace or diri i-locate ang criminal. Then last is final investigation. Ang final investigation mao ni ang evidence o mga determine na ang guilty person.
Subtype informant. Subtype informant number 1 is essential informant. A person who casually imparts information to an officer with no intention of providing subsequent information. Number 2 is recruited informant. A person who is selected, cultivated, and developed into continuous source info information. These are the categories of recruited informants. Number 1 is spontaneous or automatic informant. It is an informant who by the nature of their work or position in society has certain legal, moral, or ethical responsibilities to report info to the police. Number 2 is ordinary run of he-male informants. Informants that are under the compulsion to report information to the police. Number 3 is special employee. Special employee is an informants who are of specific is operational. Informant recruitment phases. Number 1 is selection. It is a particularly desirable to be able to identify and recruit an informant who has accessed many criminals in group or subversive organization, wide access and probably the single most important feature in the consideration of recruiting the potential informant. Number 2 is investigation. The investigation of the potential informant that has tentatively identified as a probable must be as true as possible. It must establish possible existing motives as to the person might assist to the police and intel community. Number 3 is approach. Approach must be done in a setting from which might include pleasant surroundings, perhaps a confident apartment, completely free form of probability of compromise. Number 4 is testing. Testing programs should begin, of course, with the limited assessment with a gradual integration into the more important areas. Another is a philosophy of interview and interrogation. The right officer asking the right question in the right manner, at the right time, in a right place, will get the right answer. Interrogation general. Interrogation defined. An interrogation is the questioning of a person suspected of having committed an offense of a person who is reluctant to make a full disclosure of information in his position which he pertinent to the investigation. Number 3 is preliminary conduct. Interrogation should identify himself at the outset of the statement. Generally, the purpose of interrogation, he must advise the suspect to write against some incrimination and permission him that he does not have to answer question and that he does answer. These answers can be used evidence against him. He must inform the suspect on his right to counsel and to state appointment of counsel will be made available without cost of him if he desired no questioning of the suspect unless later has definitely waived his right to be silent. Criminal interrogation system. Number one is type of offenders and approaches to be used in dealing with them. AA's emotion is offenders have greater sense of morality. These easily feel remorse over what they have done. The best approach in interrogating this type of offenders is to sympathetic approach. Non-emotional offenders normally do not feel any guilt, so the best way to interrogate them is through the factual analysis approach, that is, the reasoning and the subject is letting him know that his guilt has already been or will soon be established. Development and control of informants. Number one is confidential informant defend. A confidential informant is an individual who supplies information on a confidential basis with the understanding that his identity will not be made known. Letter A is a scientific approach in criminals investigation can be assist law enforcers immeasurably by there is always that one case wherein the crime laboratory cannot help. There is a reason why investigators must to know the man on the street, that man who can supply information. Number 2 is law enforcers must develop confidential informants every day. Number 2 is need of informants. Informants in cases accomplished in all areas of investigation without confidential informants. The officer's source of informants is limited to what he gets through formal interview. The third is informants enable law enforcers to infiltrate the criminal elements and help lower criminal moral. Advanced information improves crime prevention and enables the police to find out the identity of transcend hoodlums. Informants are investigate shortcuts to solve cases, to recover stolen property, and to make apprehensions. Number 3 is to find criminals informants on whom to develop legitimators on criminals and persons engaged in certain occupations should be considered. Use of informants. Letter A is maximum benefits. Letter B is a designated executive should be aware the identity of the informant. Tactics. The subject should be kept unaware that he is being shadowed. The investigator should be inconspicuous. He should not be detected looking directly on the suspect. Note. The investigator must maintain note of log containing chronological records of the activities of both the investigator and the subject. Then wrapping or undercover work, then arrest of undercover agent. Scientific examination of real evidence. Letter A is the crime scene search. Is processing securing the crime scene, then includes the applicants of diligent and careful methods by an investigator, policeman to recognize, identify, preserve, and collect facts. Protecting the crime scene and the evidence. Successful crime scene processing depends upon the policeman of investigator's skill in recognizing and collecting facts and items of value as evidence, and upon his ability to protect, preserve, and later to present this in logical manner. These require making careful and detailed notes and sketches using correct procedures in taking photographs of scene, taking a written statement and transcribing verbal statement of the witnesses, suspects, and making a preservation collection, physical observation, and nature. Custodial investigation interrogation. It is the skillful questioning of the suspect or a hostile witness to divulge information on the crime being investigated. It must be remembered, however, the police investigator cannot learn proper interrogation merely by reading books. The success of interrogation depends on the legality, topic, physical insight, and experience. So that's our topic for today.